Welcome, weirdos, curios, and everything in between, to our Sunday Funday School. I don't know if anybody here has read the word prior to coming to our Sunday Funday School, but today we're going to explore some of the prophets. Scott, have you ever heard of Daniel or Jonah? Have you guys?
I don't know.
Well, today we're going to learn about it.
Okay.
Usually we start off with an A-B selection, but we're not today. We're going to put Oreo Jr. back in his little area, and we're just going to get started with the word today. We're going to try something new. But before we get started, let me explain what this channel is for everyone. This is the Curio Storyteller, where we take books of yesterday, and there's no book that is older than this book, the Bible. We visit them like they're old friends that we haven't talked to in years. We cosplay. And by the way, with this cosplay, it started off as one thing and ended up like this, and we're just gonna go with it, baby. Oh, we cosplay some of the characters, and then we kind of, book club it up and talk about how these things made us feel, what we would change, who we would talk to, yada, yada, yada. So it's a little fun way to kind of just build a community together. So, with that being said, let's get started with the prophets Daniel and Jonah. Oh, mm. Are you ready, Scott?
Right.
Here we go. Now, let me just give a little preview because we kind of went over Daniel a little bit. So, I'm going to just recap a little bit. So remember, there was a hand writing on the wall, and Daniel had to prophesy, and he went on and he was dragging the old king, and then the new guy came and took the old king out. So we got Daniel. Okay, Daniel's still out here doing his thing as a prophet. Okay, y'all ready? Here we go. Let's see what Daniel's been up to. Darius decided to appoint 120 governors to hold office throughout his empire. In addition, he chose Daniel and two others to supervise the governors and to look after the king's interest. Daniel soon showed that he could do better work than the other supervisors or governors. Okay? Because he was so outstanding, the king considered putting him in charge of the whole empire. Okay, moving on up, like the Jeffersons. Yes,
Right.
yes, Daniel, do that. Then the other supervisors and governors tried to find something wrong with the way Daniel administered the empire. Okay. But they couldn't because Daniel was reliable and did not do anything wrong or dishonest. Shout out to Daniel. They said to one another, "We're not going to find anything of which to accuse Daniel unless it is something connected to his religion." Something telling me these people ain't up to no good. It just sounds shady and shisty. I don't know if anybody else feeling that. It feels shady and shisty.
Yeah. Trying to get rid of them.
Mm. So they went to see the king and said, "King Darius, may your majesty live forever. All of us who administered your empire, the supervisors, the governors, the lieutenant governors, and the other officials, have agreed that your majesty should issue an order and enforce it strictly. Give orders that for 30 days, no one be permitted to request anything from any other god or from any man except your majesty." That's a weird request. Anyone who violates this order is to be thrown into a pit filled with lions. So let your majesty issue this order and sign it, and it will be enforced. A law of the Medes and Persians, which cannot be changed. And so King Darius signed the order. When Daniel learned that the order had been signed, he went home. In an upstairs room of his house, there were windows that faced towards Jerusalem. There, just as he had always done, he knelt down at the open windows and prayed to God 3 times a day. Okay, didn't they sign that order that said, don't be praying to God, don't ask nobody for nothing? I guess ladies don't, you couldn't ask your husbands for nothing. I guess men, I guess you couldn't ask your brothers, the bank, other men, nothing. I guess you had to go directly to the king. I know it kept them very busy. It's a lot of busy work. It's a lot of people that need a lot of stuff.
Indeed.
Okay. And so Daniel decided, even though we got this law, we still gonna just do whatever we want, like we Cartman. Okay, let's see how this goes. How y'all think it's gonna go? I don't know. Because maybe they don't, I don't know. Let's see. When Daniel's enemies observed him praying to God, all of them went to the king to accuse Daniel. So y'all mean to tell me that these people were super creepy? They were sitting there like, we know Daniel gonna pray, so let us get our binoculars and just look we just gonna look around and watch him praying, and then we gonna go snitch. That's what we doing.
Yep.
All right. Oh, okay. They said, Your Majesty, you signed an order that for the next 30 days, anyone who requested anything from any god or any man except you would be thrown into the pit filled with lions. The king replied, Yes, a strict order, a law of the Medes and Persians, which cannot be changed. Then they said to the king, Daniel, one of the exiles from Judah, does not respect your majesty or obey the orders you issued. He prays regularly 3 times a day. When the king heard this, he was upset and did his best to find ways to rescue Daniel. I don't understand how we didn't know how to do that, but okay. He kept trying until sunset. Then the men came back to the king and said to him, Your majesty knows that according to the laws of Medes and Persians, no order which the king issues can be changed. I got a question.
Okay.
Are you calling on me? Somebody calling me.
Go ahead.
Okay. The question I have is, what if the king chooses to reverse the law and make it so any law he wants to change can be changed?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's a hypothetical. It didn't happen in this verse, but I'm just wondering. I'm just asking for a friend over here.
I say he can't do that.
But I'm okay. Well, potato. Let me get back to the story. Or let me get back to the word. Sorry. So the king gave orders for Daniel to be taken, and he was thrown into a pit filled with lions. This is just not okay. This is not good. He said to Daniel, May your God, whom you serve loyally, rescue you while I cannot, even though I'm the king and I can change laws. Some of this he said, some of this he didn't. Y'all figure out what he did say. A stone was placed over the mouth of the pit, and the king placed his own royal seal and the seals of his noblemen on the stone so that no one could rescue Daniel. Then the king returned to the palace and spent a sleepless night without food or any form of entertainment. He was sad. He was real sad. At dawn, the king got up and hurried to the pit. When he got there, he called out anxiously, Daniel, servant of the living God, was the God you serve so loyally able to save you from the lions, even though I could have did it? Some of that he said. Some of it I made up. Daniel answered y'all, hey.
All right.
May your majesty live forever. God sent his angels to shut the mouths of the lions so they could not hurt me. He did this because he knew I was innocent and because I have not wronged you, your majesty. The king was overjoyed and gave orders for Daniel to be pulled up out of the pit. So they pulled him up and saw that he had not been hurt at all, for he trusted God. Okay, y'all, period. Look at Daniel hanging out with the lions. He like, y'all can't do nothing. What y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Now let's get to the story of Jonah and compare and contrast the way they, the way they prophesied, the way they follow God.
They should have taken all those other people and threw them into the pit.
Well, no, because violence only begets more violence. We don't do that here.
Well, yeah, that's why they need to be thrown in the pit.
No, Scott, what? No, we're going to continue on. We're not listening to Scott right now. One day, the Lord spoke to Jonah, son of Amiti. I don't know how to say this name, so I'm sorry if I'm not saying it right. He said, "Go to Nineveh, that great city, and speak out against it. I am aware of how wicked its people are." I don't know if these people heard of Sodom and Gomorrah, but they better straighten up like yesterday. Okay? Because Sodom and Gomorrah, child, y'all don't want to be like them. Okay? Jonah, however, set out in the opposite direction in order to get away from the Lord.
The Lord told him, "Hey, you better go to this city and
tell these people to get it together."
And he said, "I'm just gonna go over.
I'm gonna go that way. You telling me go this way? I'm going that way." Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I don't know if that's the smart move. I'm pretty sure it's not a smart move, but let's see. We in the story now. Let's see what he did. He went to Joppa, where he found a boat to go to Spain. He paid his fare and went aboard with the crew to sail to Spain, where he could be away from the Lord. But the Lord sent a strong wind on the sea, and the storm was so violent that the ship was in danger of breaking up. Oh, girl, he said, "I'm going to turn this boat into the Titanic. Play with me. Get off the boat and go where I told you." The sailors were terrified and cried out for help, each one to his own God. Then, in order to lessen the danger, they threw the cargo overboard. That ain't gonna help y'all. Meanwhile, Jonah had gone below and was lying in the ship hold, sound asleep. Okay, Jonah. The captain found him there and said to him, "What are you doing asleep? Get up and pray to your God for help. Maybe he will feel sorry for us and spare our lives." Okay? Dude, wake up. We need all God's on deck, is what that captain's saying. We need all the help we can get. The sailors said to each other, "Let's draw lots and find out who is to blame for getting us into this danger." Oh, okay. Mother Nature just didn't. Never mind. Let me keep going. They did so, and Jonah's name was drawn. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe lots work. So they said to him, "Now then, tell us, who is to blame for this? What are you doing here? What country do you come from? What is your nationality? Who is your mama? How much money you got?" I ad-libbed a little bit. "I am a Hebrew," Jonah answered. "I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made land and sea." Jonah went on to tell them that he was running away from the Lord that made land and sea, that was now making the sea act a little crazy. The sailors were terrified and said to him, "That was an awful thing to do. The storm was getting worse all the time. So the sailor said to him, "What should we do to you to stop the storm?" Jonah answered, "Throw me into the sea and it will calm down. I know it is my fault that you are caught in this violent storm." Instead, the sailors tried to get the ship to shore, rowing with all their might. But the storm was becoming worse and worse, and they got nowhere. They cried out to the Lord, "Oh Lord, we pray, don't punish us with unaliving for taking this man's life. Oh Lord, our oh Lord, are responsible for all of this. It is your doing." Then they picked Jonah up and threw him into the sea, and it all calmed down at once. Ta-da! This made the sailors so afraid of the Lord that they offered a sacrifice and promised to serve him, period. Instant converts, period. At the Lord's command, a large fish swallowed Jonah, and he was inside the fish for 3 days and nights. What do y'all think that was like? Like, where did he go to the bathroom? What did he eat and drink? Like, what was going on? What did he do for entertainment inside a fish?
I don't know.
I wonder what kind of fish it was.
A big one.
Period. Then the Lord ordered the fish to spit Jonah up on the beach, and it did. Once again, the Lord spoke to Jonah. "Hey, Jonah." He said, "Go to Nineveh, that great city, and proclaim to the people the message I have given you." So Jonah obeyed the Lord and went to Nineveh. I bet he did. A city so large that it took 3 days to walk through it. Jonah started through the city, and after walking a whole day, he proclaimed, "In 40 days, Nineveh will be destroyed." Y'all, listen, like Sodom and Gomorrah happened, y'all better pay attention. The people of Nineveh believed God's message good. So they decided that everyone should fast, and all the people from the greatest to the least put a sackcloth to show that they had repented. When the king of Nineveh heard about it, he got up from his throne, tore off his robes, put on a sackcloth, and sat down in ashes. He sent out a proclamation to the people of Nineveh. "This is an order from the king and his officials. No one is to eat anything. Just you going hungry today, baby. All persons, cattle, and sheep are forbidden to eat or drink. All persons and animals must wear sackcloth." Oreo Jr., take that off. Wait, why are the animals being punished? They didn't do this. I guess it's better than a flood or some fire. So I guess we getting better. We're getting better here. Everyone must pray earnestly to God and must give up his or her wicked behavior and his or her wicked actions. Perhaps God will change his mind. Perhaps he will stop being angry and we will not unalive. Okay. They understood the assignment. They even wanted extra credit by making the animals dress and not eat and drink. So period. They serious. God saw what they did. He saw that they had given up their wicked behavior. So he changed his mind and did not punish them as he had said he would. Period.
Wow.
Whew, we escaped one. Jonah was very unhappy about this and became angry.
Okay.
Jonah is a problem. Jonah don't listen, and Jonah doing a lot. But let's see here. Let's keep getting back to this word. So he prayed, "Lord, didn't I say before I left home that this is just what you would do?" That's why I did my best to run away to Spain. We just talking to God like this? I know that you are a loving and merciful God, always patient, always kind, and always ready to change your mind and not punish.
Mm.
Now, hush, God, hush. Jonah said it, so it's true. Now then, Lord, let me unalive. I am better off unalived than alive. I don't know how we got to that conclusion because God didn't want to punish the city, but
Somebody's gonna get punished. It has to be him. It has to be him.
can we just put him back in the fish? Let's put him back in the fish. I think he might need a couple of more days in the fish again because he tripping. But let's keep going here. The Lord answered, "What right do you have to be angry? I'm with God." I'm with God on this. I'm like, sir, what are you talking about? You okay? You need a little therapy? Jonah went out east of the city and sat down. He made a shelter for himself and sat in its shade, waiting to see what happened to Neviah. Girl, nothing. They repented. Them and all the animals got dragged in. They repented. What are you talking? You know what happened, sir. That's why you yelling at God. Get it together, Jonah. Then the Lord God made a plant grow up over Jonah to give him shade so that he would be made more comfortable. That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got drunk.
Yeah. Jonah was extremely pleased with the plant. But at dawn the next day, at God's command, a worm attacked the plant and it unalived. It was probably hookworms. We had that happen to us, hookworms. Mhm. After the sun had risen, God sent a hot east wind, and Jonah was about to faint from the heat of the sun beating down on his head. So he wished that he was unalive, which this is not unusual for him. This is Jonah, honey. He just asked for it. So I am better off unalive than alive, he said. But God said to him, "What right do you have to be angry about the plant?" Jonah replied, "I have every right to be angry. Angry enough to unalive." Y'all know them kids that are like, "I'm going to hold my breath until you give me that," or "I'm not going to eat," just throwing tantrums. Jonah over here throwing a whole tantrum like he too. Like, sir, go lay down. Go take a nap. Go to timeout.
Remind me of someone we know.
Yeah. The Lord said to him, "This plant grew up in one night and disappeared the next. You didn't do anything for it. And you didn't make it grow. Yet you feel sorry for it. How much more then should I have pity on Nevaeh, that great city? After all, it has more than 120,000 innocent children in it, as well as many animals that are suffering, even though they ain't even do nothing." We're gonna end it there.
Oh.
Yeah, God had to go off on Jonah, child. Okay, well, now that we ended that, we're gonna, do one more thing. We're gonna have Scott read how we can be good representatives. Or, well, you know what? Before we do that, actually, I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna ask you guys a question about the story before y'all forget what happened in the story. If you were either prophet, would you have done different, if anything at all? That's the question. You guys out there, comment section if you would like to share. Scott, you got to tell it to the people.
Well, I don't know what Jonah's so angry about. It's like hell bent on like punishment. He's supposed to go there to tell the people to repent because God's angry, so he does that, and then they do, and then he's still mad. So I don't know. I tell him chill out.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same. I wouldn't have questioned God. Have you not seen what God been up to with people? Sir, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Just do what he told you. Or just, quit being a prophet. Just tell God I quit. Give them your 2-week notice and tell them you don't want to work there no more.
Mm.
So, okay, now we're going to get to how we can go represent Jesus in our day-to-day lifestyle. So, we're going to have Scott read that for us. How can we represent Jesus, Scott?
Okay. Order the cheapest thing on the menu at the most expensive restaurant in town that they'll let you into.
Go to that steakhouse and order a small Coke, period.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get some bread, period. That's how you can represent Jesus. Remember, Jesus made fish and bread multiply. You're going to have to do that too, period.
Okay.
Period. Okay, guys, well, we're going to end it here. Get Oreo Jr. As always, guys, we hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with us, because as always, we enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, live, shorts, all that fun stuff, because guess what? This channel is not just about Scott and Oreo and myself. It's about all of us. All of us coming, hanging out, and learning and talking about what we learned, if we even do that. So we're going to bid you guys adieu. So from wherever we are, even when we're in a fish and we don't know where we're going to go to the bathroom at, we don't know where we go get some food at or fresh water, but we do know God told us to get ourselves over there and we didn't. To wherever you guys are, peace, love, and happiness. And we'll see you guys a little later, but really like 30 minutes. We got to get back on this craziness. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye, guys.
Bye.